Hello, my name is Michael Garrick, and this is PoppinCulture movie reviews. My guest today is comedian Michael Mack. You can find him in South Carolina, North Carolina. Very funny comedian. Make sure you guys check him out. He's hilarious.
Appreciate it.
No problem, but the truth is always the truth. We're going to be reviewing Spiderman Homecoming. Mike picked the movie out. Before we go any further, this will be a spoiler review. So before we spoil the movie, would you advise that they watch it?
Oh yeah, man, definitely. It's probably one of the best Marvel movies outside of the Avengers movies. So definitely, if you can, check it out. Also, Spider-Man's my favorite character. So yeah, definitely check that one out. Tom Holland did an amazing job.
I agree. This is a very good movie. They very much put a lot of heart into it, and we'll explain that when we go on spoiler. I think you should definitely watch it also. From this point out, it's straight spoilers. So what would you like to say in the beginning of to kick it off?
Yeah, man, I gotta say, the best part I think of Spider-Man Homecoming was just kind of watching how Parker had to go from having the best suit, you know what I'm saying, a suit from Iron Man himself, to having to just kind of go back to the basics. So I've always kind of liked things like that, where you start off, oh yeah, I'm all there at the top, can't nobody touch me, and then you got to go back to ground zero and build yourself back up. So I like the fact that it gave character to him, to where he's acting kind of big headed at first, gets humbled, and he really understands the grind of what it means to be a hero. Especially with, also the fights were cool as fuck too.
Yeah. I hate to do it, but I am biased because I just love the original Spider-Man 2 movie.
Yeah.
So
man.
I hate that I judged them all off that movie just because it was a great film. And but to get back to Spider-Man Homecoming, I'll explain that later why I brought that up. But to get to Spider-Man Homecoming, I think that was a brilliant idea for showcasing him in Civil War before he had his own movie.
Yeah, I was surprised. 'Cause I remember it was rumored right before the movie came out, and I was just like, man, why would they bring Spider-Man in that Captain America movie? But then it's also, if you go to the original comics where the Civil War idea, was first birthed, Spider-Man was a very important role. I mean, first of all, people don't realize how big Spider-Man is in Marvel.
Yeah.
So with him being in that role, I mean, because when they rumored it, I was like, damn, I'm gonna see my boy getting beat the fuck up. Because in the comic book, he gets beat within an inch of his life.
Yeah.
And then somebody shows up last second to kind of help him. So I was like, let's hope not. But when he came in still in Cap's shield, man. So that entrance, I remember going wild in the movie theater. So he stole Cap's shield, he handled himself against Winter Soldier. So then I was like, when they would say he's getting his own movie, I was like, I can't wait. And I think the villain Vulture, I loved how they did Vulture. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, this movie about to be heat, and it definitely was.
Yeah, and they never. Well, Marvel does this really well. They never just force feed you with oh, this is from this movie, this is from that movie. They really gradually just tie everything together nicely. It's never ever shoved in, and that's one thing I think Marvel does really good. Because man, if you notice, Iron Man has screwed everybody over. Really, he's made a lot of enemies.
A lot,
yeah.
and it's one of the things that still stays into his character, and it also is a thing of keeping his original movie relevant, where he's trying to make up for a whole lot of things he did when he was younger, and just thinking he was just making money and stuff like that. So I gotta say, one of my favorite things about it is also how natural the movie felt. With Tom Holland, it didn't feel like he was trying to put effort into being Spider-Man or Peter Parker. He was just being a teenage kid that was trying to be a superhero, and then a superhero that's just trying to do his job well.
And I think one of the biggest points is Tom Holland was a teenager. He wasn't a 30 or 25-year-old man that had to shave every day. This is like a real life, true blood.
I was pretty
teenager.
surprised when I found out Andrew Garfield's age. I was just like,
but because he still looked young.
Yeah, but he was close to 30 when he did that jump.
Yeah, it was 25, 26.
Yeah,
yeah.
so
Toby was 30.
30.
Yeah.
So I remember and I think that's what helps it feel more natural, is the fact that he didn't really have to act. He just got to be himself.
Yeah.
And with the Spider-Man, because with Garfield, I feel like his Spider-Man was better than Toby's, but
Yeah, I agree.
I thought that Toby was the better Parker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Garfield, he's trying to be all weird and stuff like
And
that.
the one-liners were just great when it came to Garfield.
Yeah, Garfield's one-liner. Yeah, the comedy with his Spider-Man was on point.
Yeah.
But with Holland, it just felt like you had fun with him as Parker and you had fun with him as Spider-Man. Whereas the other two, you might have Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 3, the cursed walk down Broadway.
Man, that made me like hate Topher Grace for so long. Like he's a good actor. I like him now, but after seeing, I was like, Topher Grace needs to stay on that '70s show. We missed him he left season 7 for this.
but yeah, man, like with the third movie and just how they was trying to do it with Parker and how he's supposed to struggle with being more aggressive. It just didn't work out because that's just not. It just seems like it's not in him. And then with Garfield, it felt like if he would have had to try to do it with the way he was doing Parker, being extra nervous, spending 5 minutes just like, stuttering and stuff like that just to talk to Gwen, I was just like, trying a bit too hard. But with Holland, it was just like natural. You know what I'm saying? When he saw Zendaya, which I mean, I would,
yeah, and he
stuttered up against Zendaya too, but he just talked.
Yeah, and I love the fact that they played him as a teenager. Like, if you remember the movie, well, why did he like Zendaya? Because she was pretty.
That's all you need.
Like that's it. No, I'm sorry, not Zendaya. It's the other girl. I forgot her name. The one the love interest in
the love interest.
The Vulture's daughter.
Yeah,
that was a great scene because at first I thought they kidnapped the family. Then it was like, oh no, it's just an interracial couple. Like,
yeah, but then when he pulled up, I was just like, cool. That's some racism. Like that's how you keep it in the culture.
Yeah,
that's how you keep it relevant.
Yeah, like it was just like, oh, okay. But for a second, did you catch that? Because for me, I just thought he kidnapped them, and then I was like, oh no, bro, this is just an interracial couple.
Yeah. So I remember with that one, I thought it was interesting too when they had it where like Vulture is, he's the father of a young. Oh, was she black or was he like Indian or something?
She was definitely black.
I don't know, man. You never know. Indian people kind of fit the culture too. But
the mom was definitely black.
Hey, whatever, man.
I was like, nah. They were like, no, she's. I
couldn't remember exactly. I couldn't remember it was supposed to be like a different culture. I remember it was supposed to be some other culture in there.
It was okay. I thought the mom was black. Okay.
I thought it was supposed to be another culture. I might be wrong.
I'm trying to remember the mom. Like, do you remember what the mom looked like? I thought she was the woman from the Jamie Foxx show.
But I remember she was fine.
Yeah.
So, so like the fact that they had that played in there and not in some like big like, all right, we're gonna stamp it, black people. Cool. No, yeah. It was just in there. It was just like a natural thing. Like, hey, this is my daughter. You take my daughter out to prom. Like, let me talk to you real quick. You know what I'm saying? And that's every kid has dealt with.
And the scene where Michael Keaton, the Vulture, he's putting everything together. So you were here and then you disappeared. And then you were somewhere else and you disappeared. Okay. All right, you must be Spider-Man.
So it's just, I like how they made Vulture so intelligent. I like how they made his use of his suit. Because that fight scene that fight scene with him and Spidey and Vulture was just iconic. That shit was nice. So I just felt like with the movie, it was so many things done right. Even Spider-Man's homeboy. No, there you go.
Ned.
Yeah, like
Ned was a horrible friend. Ned gonna ask him in the middle of class, so do you have extra legs? Like, this is a secret identity, Ned. Don't be. You gonna ask me in the bathroom, not in front of.
Pause, man. But I'm joking.
Nah, but you're right. When I said it, I heard myself, and I was like, oh no, man, not in the bathroom. That's the worst place to find out if I got extra leg.
But just what it was like one of my favorite parts is just when Parker comes back to the apartment, he just kind of like turns on the lights and his boy just there, and then he's just like, oh, he's like, bro, got a 6-pack, like what's going on here? And so but that's a natural reaction if your homeboy came in as Spider-Man.
If I saw my homeboy crawling on the wall, like I better not have my gun.
And then but Holland also did it so natural with her. He just jumped down and was like, whoa, wait. Yes. So it's just like a crazy thing to where it just progressed so smoothly. It never felt like there was a moment where you were just like, all right, it's kind of dragging, or it's just like, all right, bro, it's been explosions for like 15 minutes. Who is this, Michael Bay? Like, what's going on? Yeah. So I feel like with the movie, just the way it felt so smooth, just watching it. Yeah. The acting, I mean, the part where Tony was hitting on Aunt May, that's where I was just kind of like, why they made Aunt May kind of fine? What's going on here? Like, they ain't.
But that made so much sense to me because it's aunt, not grandma. Like,
I mean, some people be old, man. I got some old aunts, man.
But like, when I think of like the movie came out, I want to say 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about all the 2018 aunts that I knew, and I was like, nah, ain't nobody grandma. Like this aunts are like, you know.
Look, man, my family kind of old, man.
Okay,
So I was cool with it. I was cool with better than, the older. I don't joke, but nah, like when.
Melissa Tomei is fine though.
Oh yeah, she really is.
But she been fine her whole career.
So that's the age like wine, and so like when you had Tony in there, and he's just like, "Oh, this your aunt. This your aunt. My name Tony. What's up with you?" Tony. You know. So
I think he flirted with her in Civil War, didn't he?
Yeah, there too.
Yeah.
When he first met her and did he's just sitting there, it's just like, oh, we want dinner. Okay, I can stay for dinner. And then Parker's just like no, you cannot stay for dinner.
You gotta get out of here. You parked that nice car in this neighborhood. Why'd you do that? Like, I know you Iron Man, but look, this.
So because the opening scene, if I'm not mistaken, is when Parker has to help with the bus and the bridge, and.
No, I thought they were robbing a bank.
Oh yeah, the bank. No, the bus and bridge where he lost the suit. That's when Tony took the suit away because he just kind of ended up going overboard.
And he wouldn't answer. And Tony wouldn't answer the man for months. That's how you create supervillains. Have you seen The Incredibles?
Yeah.
You remember, I was like, you better answer that phone call. Like,
yeah. If nobody can be a hero. If everybody can be a hero, then nobody will be. So I remember that one, but or special or something. Yeah, but. That and Happy was always funny in the Marvel movies. Yeah. So just the fact that they had so many things in there that were just connected. They brought up the other movies. You know what I'm saying? Like when Ned is asking, like, "Wait, you took Captain America's shield?" Like, yeah, man, I came in. It just felt like when you bragging to your homeboy, like, yeah, but I came in. I was like, "What's up, bro? It's mine now." Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it just felt something that would be in today's time. You know?
True. What I love is the Miles Morales Easter egg because it wasn't forced. It was just really quick.
Yeah,
it was really quick. It's like, hey, my nephew lives over here. And it's like it wasn't like it was literally maybe 3 minutes at the most. Like they didn't force it. They didn't push hard on it. That and the shocker. Like they didn't even call him a shocker. They just like emphasized like, hey, this, maybe.
What does he do? Yeah. It's shocking. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I always feel like with the writing of it, that's probably one of the best things. And there's also, and like I said, one of the best things still is just Peter having to come to that understanding of like how much work it really takes. Because when he first tries to, that was loud. When he first tries to hack his suit, and which is funny because like 2 high schoolers hacked something that Tony Stark made. So I thought that was hilarious.
If you've watched Avengers Endgame, you realize, hey, we can go back in time. Don't worry about it.
That's true, but yeah. So when they hacked the suit. And it's like 1,000 different things you can do with the suit. Like all right, lethal mode. Like, no, wait, stop.
Why would he put this on here?
Yeah. And he's like arguing with his suit. And it's like, and he's just comes to understand like, okay, this is a bit bigger than I thought. And when he loses the suit, he has to go back to what he usually, what used to have on, looking like a hobo and stuff like that, which I found hilarious to just tie back in. Since he came in with the fresh suit, I was like, oh man, we ain't gonna get hobo homemade Spider-Man. But then, he had to come back with it. So I was like, there we go. That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah. To go back to the villain, Vulture, I thought he gave a great speech when he was in the car. Because if you remember, he was like, this is my last job. This is all I'm going to do. And he tied back. He said, Iron Man, Tony Stark, he said Tony Stark, I don't know why I said Iron Man. He said Tony Stark made billions off selling weapons. All I got to do is sell these weapons, and I'm never doing this again. And then Spider-Man was like, nah.
Yeah, it's still going to hurt people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like from what they did with Vulture, since they made him a family man. Well, he was always a family man, but he was just more crazy.
Yeah.
But in this one, he was just relatable.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, that was a really great job. And I feel like the Marvel movies have done that pretty well. They made a lot of people relatable and stuff like that. Like Thanos, and he was just like it's so much like things in the world. It's too much things in the world. So what's wrong with me trying to balance it back out? It's just like, I think Bill Burr said a joke like that before too. You know what I'm saying? So
I think they just word it really well. I think if you just think like 2 more seconds, you're like, nah, that sounds stupid as hell. Don't you just destroy,
Yeah, but then when it's also the delivery too, where it's just so smooth and it's just like because if he would have said it just like yeah, and I'll just get rid of half of the population, it was like sit your crazy ass down.
Yeah, he kind of went like the preacher tone, like put your money in the pot. It'll be fine. Just put your money in the pot.
Just like listen, this is the will of the universe.
It's bigger than both of us. I'm taking the same chance you are. When I snap my finger, I may go too. Probably not because I got the thing on, but
yeah. So it's just like the way the actors just portrayed everything, and the way he was just because he really just sounded like Vulture. Just sounded like a guy who's just like, look, man, just let me do this for my family.
Yeah.
Why can't I just support my family? And Peter on his side, he's just like, but think about what you're going to do to people. You know what I'm saying? Think about what these weapons are going to, like, think about, you could get your own daughter shot with these weapons. So it's like, just the way they did the relatability of both sides. To Peter, you're like, all right, yeah, let's be logical. Like, you're gonna get people killed. You know what I'm saying? But then on Vulture's side, it's like,
Tony Stark did this.
Yeah, it's just like, well, he did it. You know what I'm saying? Just because it was in another country, I mean, it ain't the same.
He took over my business.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and it's also a thing. I'm just like, I'm trying to put food on the table.
Yeah.
So and if you know what I'm saying, you always heard the drug dealer be like, yeah, I know what I was doing was fucking some people up, but my kids was hungry. What you want me to do? So the way they did the relatability of it, the way they did the characters, the writing and the fights and the choreography of it, because it was all and it wasn't like some of the later Transformers movies where they just like big explosion, big fight, stuff like that. It was just naturally progressed, where they timed, where they had the conversations, because when Vulture and Parker are going at it, and then they separate from each other, it didn't feel awkward when Vulture was just like, it didn't have to be this way. You could have just let me do this, and we would have never had to get into this altercation. It just felt natural, like a good stopping point where they fought for like 3 minutes, flew like half around the city and stuff like that, separated, and then Vulture was just like, okay, let me catch my breath. Let me stall a little bit. You tripping.
Then that iconic scene ripped right from the comics where, if you notice now, it's no more Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
So it's not like with great power comes with great responsibility. Now it's, if you're nothing without the suit, you don't deserve it. He maybe had everything on him. And in the comic, he says the Uncle Ben line. But in the movie, he says he remembers the line about, if you're nothing without the suit, you don't deserve it. And that's when he gets everything off of him.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really brilliant. Plus, I think like that does deserve to be the new line. Like, we've done Uncle Ben over and over again.
Yeah, man. And it's funny because I remember like, after I saw that movie and I realized like, oh wait, they never said the Uncle Ben line. They mentioned it, but they never said it. And then like I watched the anime called The Rising of the Shield Hero, and then they said the line, and these guys are in a whole nother world dimension thing like that. And one guy's just like, with great power comes great responsibility, and the main character's like, I didn't know you was bit by a spider. So I remember that for me, it just made me laugh completely, because I was like, wow, they take it out of one thing but put it in all right, whatever. But yeah, so I feel like, and nothing really felt cheesy.
No.
That was one of the best parts about it. Like, nothing felt, like just like a kid stealing.
Sorry. It probably didn't bother you. It didn't bother me much until like I remember the ride home. Why would she, if her name's Michelle, why would she say my friends call me MJ?
Oh.
Like, it was kind of just like, why put that in there? Why would we need that?
Because, I mean, well, for me, the whole time I was wondering, I was just like, so are they just going to introduce MJ later? Because that was in the back of my mind the entire movie, too.
Because it wasn't like it was missing anything.
Yeah. Because it's like, because for me, I was just like, and then, since you she's heard them call, Zendaya Michelle and stuff like that, you never really thought about it too much. Like, oh, this is going to be the new MJ. But, like, the whole time in the back of my head, I was just thinking, I was like, okay, so maybe they'll do a second movie with MJ since old girl's leaving. Yeah. She kind of got to. But,
yeah, for real. That's one plot we need to just cut out now. We can bring him back in Sinister 6.
Yeah. So it just felt like, it felt like something that was on the back of my mind. And something I wasn't really, like, it wasn't at the forefront, but it was there. And like, it was like a thought in my head. And then when they said it, it's just like some of my friends call me MJ. I was just like, Oh, okay, interesting. All right, that was random.
Yeah, that's like exactly. It was like somebody. It was like they were at the end of the movie and they were like, "Yo, did we forget something? Oh, okay. Just throw it in at the end. Bring her back for one day. We'll shoot it, and that's it."
Yeah, because like before that, she had like what, couple lines where she talked a little bit of smack.
Yeah, she didn't even like seem like she liked him at all. Like,
Yeah, and then like when he got in trouble. Oh, not to mention the infamous Captain America scene. So you're in detention.
yeah. Oh man, what's his name? The comedian. Oh man.
Hannibal Buress.
Hannibal, he delivered that line perfect. I'm pretty sure he's a war criminal. That was just brilliant. That was just a brilliant line. Like I'm pretty sure they didn't even write that. I'm pretty sure he just ad-libbed it.
And it's something that fits so well because in that situation he is
In that time, in that part of the timeline, yeah, he was a war criminal.
Yeah, and then Parker's just like I fought this man. He pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I remember just like it was so many things like. That was funny, and I remember the funniest Marvel movie to me still, like Thor has the funniest movies.
You think it's better than Ant-Man?
Not the first one, or Ragnarok was pretty funny, man.
Oh yeah, Ragnarok. Yeah, but
Ragnarok was hilarious.
It's like they changed the tone completely because the first Thor was kind of boring. The second one, but the third one, it was like, nah, let's just make this comedy. We can't make this make sense.
It was so, and then when you add them in with the Guardians of the Galaxy, it was even better. But yeah, so when I saw like with that one, I just realized how much I laughed, and I was like, wait, when was Marvel this funny? I've seen Marvel movies like all my life. You know what I'm saying? X-Men movies and Iron Man. The first couple Iron Man 1 was pretty funny.
Yeah, I was
but the rest of them not really. Well, Iron Man 3 they had the funny ole, like that part is still hilarious. But the rest of them not so much funny. Ain't no Hulk movie was funny.
No, they definitely kind of laughed at themselves at some point, which it worked out for them.
Yeah, but then like with Thor, it just went like full on comedy.
Yeah.
But it was still action packed. So
and that director's known for being funny though. He I forgot his name. He was in We Are Vampires.
I still remember director names, man. I can't lie to you. But yeah, so Spider-Man was one of the other movies that was just like straight hilarious.
Yeah. I brought up the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2, and I'll just shine the light on why I brought it up. I just judged Spider-Man movies off of that. With Spider-Man 2, if you remember that,
Spider-Man 2 is the benchmark, man.
Do you remember everything he did had consequences? Like everything, like even when he was doing the right thing, he had consequences. That's the only thing I felt about Homecoming. It's like when the bodega got messed up when people were robbing the bank in the bodega or whatever. No consequences. It was just like, yep, that happened. The guy's business is gone.
Yeah.
It was like all these extra stuff happened. No consequences. The only consequences was when he lost his suit. And I thought that was the only weird part. Like they just shunned over all these other things to happen.
And I feel like that's something more into just trying to make it more like kid friendly. Not because the bad stuff still happens. You know what I'm saying? Because Vulture, he still shoots people. He shot like one of the people he was working with.
Yeah.
That's screwed up.
Yep.
I think he also lost a couple of his crew, just from messing up and things like that. So I feel like they kind of pick and chose where they wanted, but it felt like more consequences happened to Vulture than anything.
Definitely. From the beginning of the movie when he loses his business,
Yeah, so I feel like when it comes to it, because one of the biggest things in storytelling is making sure that your protagonist does go through things. So you always want your protagonist to kind of learn from the mistakes, learn from the losses. So I feel like with Parker, it was more on the collateral side because he still got fussed at for that for the whole bodega thing. It's just like, I saved the bodega, the one that you exploded. Yeah, well then what about the bus? Like I saved the people. It was just like, yeah, you broke a whole bridge. Like what are you talking about? And so I just feel like in a way it didn't make people suffer, like die and stuff like that. But it's still a downside to it because like a whole bridge is destroyed.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. People's cars are messed up. Dude lost his business just like Vulture. You know what I'm saying. So they could have teamed up together. You know what I'm saying. So it felt like it was more onto the mistakes instead of just like, all right, every good thing comes with a bad thing.
Nice. That's a great way that's great the way you put it. That's perfect. Yeah. That's perfect. And then I don't want to forget, how'd you feel about the Stan Lee cameo?
Oh man, I'm gonna miss those so much. But I don't know. I think my favorite Stan Lee cameo in a Spider-Man movie will still be Amazing Spider-Man 2, where Parker's fighting. Was it the Lizard?
Yep.
Yeah.
He almost got hit by the table.
And he hit him with the like. That was my favorite. That's still my favorite cameo. But that one was funny still.
It's like a tie between me. It's him being a DJ in Deadpool at the strip club. And then I don't know, man. I don't know why I like it because it was so corny. I think it was the first Spider-Man or the second Spider-Man where he just stand there like, it's good to know that people can still do good things.
Yeah,
that's it. And then just walks off.
But then it's like all the Stan Lee cameos are just like none of them felt. It's weird. None of them felt odd. They just always felt right.
Yeah, even that one I just brought up because it really didn't fit the scene at all. Like, he had no reason to talk to Peter, but like,
it just fit.
Yeah,
it was just like why are you here?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Or like in was it? Yeah, I think the second Avengers movie, Ultron, Age of Ultron, where he's at the party getting drunk. You know what I'm saying? And Thor is just like, be careful, this is mead from Asgard. And he's just like, man, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
No,
or like Iron Man 2 when Iron Man thinks he's Hugh Hefner. He's like, hey, Hugh.
And so like that, like just the way it played a role into it is just, I don't know, man. Stan Lee, I don't know if he ever wrote them. Did they ever explain that? Like, did he write his cameos in himself, or was it just like?
He probably left it up to Marvel at that point.
Yeah, and it's funny. So like so many movies, so many times he's been put into it. Even I think the only one he didn't have one in is the Ant-Man.
I'm not sure.
I don't remember one film with Ant-Man.
No, the first Ant-Man? Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, I think he was in there.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure if he did those horrible Fantastic Four movies, he was going to make sure he was in Ant-Man.
You're right, but still, like, I mean, I like the first Fantastic Four.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
So I like it, but if I look at it, I'd be like, yeah, I like this for nostalgia.
Yeah, I was like, let's put you in D tier.
Yeah, I was like, I like this for nostalgia, but I can't be like, But I'm glad it didn't work because we wouldn't have Captain America.
Yeah, but it's much better than the remake. That remake was garbage.
I haven't seen it. I'll be honest with you. So many people told me not to. I haven't seen it.
Make sure you stay on that train. Okay. So, so it was garbage. Man.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, that's a blemish on Michael B. Jordan's record. He redeemed himself in Black Panther.
Oh yeah, man. I think he knew what was up. He was like, yeah, this ain't gonna be good. Creed, hurry up with Creed. I need Creed now. If I die tomorrow, I can't have nobody remember me.
Yeah, then it's just like, man, I can't let my only Marvel strike be bad.
But that's true. Even Captain America and wow, everybody that was in Fantastic Four, at least everybody played the Human Torch. They all bounced back pretty well.
Yeah. So I mean, not to mention just got definitely had to bounce back. But yeah, so it just feels like with Spider-Man Homecoming, the thing of it was it just seemed like perfect execution. Where if somebody really did have a critique on it, it was like a small thing. It's just
they were
like,
hating.
Yeah, or not even that. Just like nitpicking. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Just like personally, you know, like how you thought the MJ thing was weird.
What's
you know
the voice? What's the voice you doing? What's the voice? What's the voice? Personally.
I wasn't trying to do that, man. I did that as being a comedian, man.
Yeah, you hit me with that diss to laboratory. Go ahead.
But yeah, so I feel like with it's something that if you need a new hallmark or a new benchmark for Marvel movies, or if you wanted to get somebody into a Marvel type of thing, just be like you can put that with Black Panther or Avengers or Iron Man, the first one, and stuff like that, or even like Thor Ragnarok or Guardians of the Galaxy. Because I think Guardians of the Galaxy came out the year before?
Yep.
So it was like with Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, oh man, this is a really good movie. And then he's like, all right, what's next? And it was like Spider-Man. I was like, with the new guy. Okay, and I think that's also was also great about it. It was so great with the amount of pressure on it. Because with Spider-Man, you had the first trilogy that the third one messed up.
Yeah.
You got the second set, which was supposed to be a trilogy, but second movie. I mean, I'd still like the second movie, but
me too.
But
I agree where it messed up, but yeah, I like it.
So it's like the second. I was like, it's the last chance, man. Like, we really might have to scrap Spider-Man from live action.
Yeah, it was kind of on that edge where it's like, if this does bad, I'm pretty sure Marvel can buy this property back. But if it does good, I'm gonna love it.
Yeah. So like for all the pressure that was on it, because nothing else has a two strikes against it. Fantastic Four, but after that second strike, that kind of already went out.
Yeah, it's like Marvel has it, and Marvel deserves that.
Yeah. And so I feel like with it was just a thing of like, all right, it's a transition to Disney because Sony kind of messed up the second one, and they didn't want to relinquish rights or something like that to Marvel or whatever. So now let's see if Disney can do it. And Disney, you're on a pretty hot streak, but this is the big boy. You know what I'm saying? This is the last straw.
Do you agree that without the Avengers, this movie probably doesn't work as well? Because they're all through the movie. Like,
yeah, I feel like
it's like
somebody else had
with friends.
Because that was actually like a critique somebody had.
Really,
it felt like but not like a bad thing, but it was just a thing where they were just like, if they didn't include some of the extra, because he was saying like most Marvel movies, like how many people can now have a standalone Marvel movie? Like the only person who really had standalone Marvel movies would be Ant-Man and the Wasp, because they didn't really include any other Avengers in it. Because in the first one, they had Falcon, and that was a funny ass scene. I was saying like, "Hi, I'm Scott." Did he just say I'm Scott? So I remember he was just like, it felt like all the Marvel movies are kind of like you have to have them tethered together, or they just won't work. And it's like Ant-Man and Wasp, Guardians of the Galaxy. And maybe this Black Widow movie, if it does good, if it ever comes out.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine just like I guess they just knew Hawkeye couldn't get his own movie. Like they're like, we'll give you a TV show. You got a TV show coming, but I don't blame them. Like at the Arrow, it's kind of hard to write that as a movie.
And keep it interesting. Like, can you really make a Hawkeye movie for a whole hour and a half? By himself.
That's what I'm saying. Like it would be hard to keep it. Like
even if he did a Hulk movie now, a Hulk by himself. No, you gotta have like at least 3 characters.
I don't know. Smart Hulk probably can make a movie work.
Not if he ain't throwing hands.
I mean, of course he has to. Like,
but he definitely didn't.
Even Black Widow has to throw hands. So like,
I mean, but she's about throwing hands.
Yeah.
So I mean, unless we can get
and her friends and family.
it's a whole lineage of ass whoop. But yeah. So like. When he said that, I thought about it. I was like, damn, would this movie be as good without Tony?
It's not the same movie.
Without Captain America, that even if it's a small thing, like, or without even just being built upon that Civil War entrance. But then I'm like, well, let's give it some credit on the writing. That Civil War entrance really made this movie. It's like the fact that they picked up that torch from what was made. I was like, I ain't about to complain. That shit was done.
We got 2 good movies out of Civil War. We got Black Panther and we got Spider-Man. Both of them were introduced during that movie.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, let's kind of roll with this. And the way I understood it was like, could it be the same if you don't have all these other characters in it? It's like, no, it'll be something different. Yeah. But do I feel like it would have still carried by the way all the I would say yes by the way all the actors performed. Now, I don't know if that can be matched because with Tom Holland, I don't know if he has that same adrenaline rush or that same boost
from Civil War.
Yeah, but I feel like with him as an actor, he's a really good actor.
Yeah. The only reason why I say it wouldn't be the same is because we have to do Uncle Ben again. There's no Tony. There's no, you don't deserve the suit.
That might have made it a bit cheesy or corny at least, or just redundant. Because it's like what we already heard
3 times.
Yeah, so you're right, and I was saying that maybe they could have did it in a different way, and also we would have started out with bare bones Parker, you know what I'm saying, like all right, I'm gonna knit this suit myself, and it'll look trash, and then like at the end of it or in the middle, it'll look better.
But either way, we got an amazing film. I'm so glad that it came out well. I can't wait to see the third one. Do you believe this movie becomes a part of pop culture?
I think kind of already is. I mean, like if you go to the stores, you'll find Spider-Man. Well, I mean, Spider-Man's always been a part of pop culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Even back when comic book stuff wasn't all that cool, Spider-Man was there. You know what I'm saying? Spider-Man was there with Batman, Superman.
Yeah.
So I feel like this version definitely is just there because I mean the suit was nice. You know what I'm saying? And the last Avengers movie, Iron Spider suit. Hella nice. I
mean, and the way they ripped it from the comic, they was like, okay, this is how, if we were supposed to make this a realistic suit, this is how it would look.
And just like metallic, sleek, everything's cool about it. I was like, man, I might need to get into cosplay.
Even the eyes, because sometimes they mess up the eyes. The eyes were perfect on that suit.
Yeah, and I remember when I first saw Amazing Spider-Man, and it took some getting used to with the suit because it wasn't a generic form. It was like a new form, and I was just like,
this is what a teenager would make.
yeah, I was like, yeah, okay, cool. But then like in the second movie, I was like, all right, now this is this type of thing. And then when the Spider-Man game came out, and also I think the Spider-Man Homecoming really helped the game because people were hyped for the game. And it was like, yeah, and it was like what, the year after the movie?
Yeah.
So it was like, bro, we're really about to be on a roll because we get a gangster entrance and a good ass fight in Civil War. Good ass movie with some good ass plot points and some great characters. Now we're going to get a game that's fun as hell, and the suit looks great.
I think Into the Spider-Verse helped the game out too.
Oh, right, because that came out right before it too. Yeah, and I remember when that came out. Well, when they showed like the previews for it and stuff, I remember I was mad because I just get mad at Western animation always having to look so damn childish. Like, why does the Kingpin have to be a whole block of? Why is the Kingpin, like a pork roast? Why is he shaped like this? But I remember like just the way this movie was executed, how much like the animation fit the movie, but I say the animation. But you know what I'm saying? Because it's just so childish, man. Like I watch anime, man. I've been wanting to see some of the slick, clean cut animation.
I like to see hand drawings. I get it.
Yeah, so it's like Spider-Man is just Spider-Man himself has been on the roll, and now the Miles Morales game is taking over the nation. So it's just kind of cool because now it's like, we're really about to have like a black white competition. You know what I'm saying? Like,
to go back to we talked about football earlier. You know how this works out.
So it's just like it's just cool to see that even with all the success that the traditional Spider-Man is getting, the new age seems to really be coming in, and people are really rocking with it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I just hope they cast it right.
Yeah, so
we
now
know it's gonna be some British guy, but
I mean, hopefully they find. Because somebody was asking me, do you think they should really find like a black Hispanic guy to do it? And I was like, I think find a black guy. Because Miles Morales is still, he has the Hispanic side to him. So I remember like when they do the third movie and they do make it into the Spider-Verse thing, and you throw in Miles Morales, I'm like, it's going to be really interesting to see.
I wouldn't want to have to cast it. I put it like that. 'Cause this is like very divisive.
It's pretty much like, all right, who's going to replace Chadwick Boseman? Like it's so difficult because, and this is where the first one messed up at, and the third one. So it's like, this is the real pressure on, like, all right, can you make a successful trilogy? All right, because be honest, we really don't have a successful trilogy in Marvel movies. Iron Man 3.
I would consider it a success when I look at the X-Men movies, but I feel you.
Oh yeah, you're right. But and they went past it. I mean, after they went past the third one, that was supposed to be like a successful series, and then it just kind of went off the rails. And yeah, they got to stop with that reset button.
Yeah,
but
Logan was good.
You're right.
But that X-Men together.
Yeah, but the days have passed or whatever. That one.
Yo, I spent $10.50 that I'll never get back.
Thankfully, my cousin got the DVD, and I was just like, yo, you still got the receipt.
Yeah, you got a good cousin, man. But yeah, anytime you want to come back for the podcast or movie review, Mike, just let me know, okay?
Hey, anytime, man.
Is anything you like to say to your fans?
Appreciate y'all for watching. Yeah, I ain't gonna be childish this time. Appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you for the support. Hey, make sure that you support PoppinCulture, man. This is a great podcast, man.
Thank you so much, man. Where can they find you?
Getting my YouTube started soon, so you can find me YouTube, Michael Mack. I'll be posting my comedy and stuff there. Try to get more shows and more recordings and stuff like that. And aside from that, support my other podcast, Black Heroes Podcast. That's on Spotify, Anchor. And then that kind of like branches out to all types of platforms and stuff like that.
Nice. Thank you again for coming on. And you guys have an amazing day.
Peace.